It's Bastion time! Hey, so I learned something neat just now. Last episode I stopped in a place you're not really supposed to stop. You're expected to play 2 levels back to back without a break, but I stopped in between them. I was expecting to be sent back to that level, but instead they started me at the Bastion again. And look! You can use the monument and get a new building before heading out. There's only one option left at this point in the game, and that's the shrine. This building is what allows you to change the difficulty level of the game. In it, there are 10 idols, and you can pray to them to invoke their patron god. Unfortunately, all the gods hate you or something. Every single one of them just makes the enemies more difficult in some way or another. On the plus side, every idol activated also gives you more experience and bitcoins when you kill an enemy. I've gone ahead and invoked Akobi and Pyth, since they are the only 2 options I have. Akobi, the goddess of oaths and abandon, is symbolized by shackles and makes foes drop grenades when they die. It's not a big deal, you just run away after killing somebody. Pyth makes enemies stronger, faster, and tougher to kill. This level is called Prosper's Bluff, and it's one of the most important levels in the game's story, but the level itself is kind of weird. You're surrounded by Peckers, their word, not mine, which are apparently the bullies of the post-Calamity world. Nobody likes them, not even the gas fellows. Progress is constantly hindered by these bullhead doors, and you have to go down those side paths to hit switches and open them. Also introduced are these purple fart plants which shoot peyote in your mouth. It does a little bit of damage, makes your screen get really hazy, so I'll try to avoid hitting them too much. To be honest, I don't really know what the designers were going for with this level, and I think it kind of sucks. Nothing really happens, you just keep walking around shooting at things. At least the artwork's a little nice. Now, if you want to pay attention to the narrator here, he starts to bend time a little bit again. He begins talking as if he were speaking to somebody in the present, which he is. Then this song gets cued. The song is called Build That Wall, and the lyrics are one of the main sources of the backstory to this game. The lyrics are from the perspective of the Ura, mocking and threatening the Sails. The Ura lived underground mostly, while the Sails lived in cities and fortresses, hence the words, I dig my hole, you build a wall. The Ura also hate the crap out of the Sails, so one day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill, someday those tears are gonna spill. The rest of the song is pretty straightforward, but loaded with a foreboding, we'll be there before too long. And the narrator even repeats this line by the end of the level. So the soundtrack is foreshadowing events that happen in the story. Also, this is like the first time I've had a chance to talk about the soundtrack in like 8 episodes. Turns out this game uses a lot of its pieces, and I had forgotten about that. So I'm slightly off of my original focus, but I found a ton of other things to talk about, so I guess it's okay. So anyway, back to the topic of the gods. Pyth, which you've probably figured out by now, is the bull god, symbolizing commotion and order. Pyth is a common symbol of this game, and you see him everywhere. The shield is a Pyth shield, the doors are Pyth doors, the bulls we fight are Pyth, bullhead cord is Pyth, it's all Pyth. In the game, we even get a plush Pyth doll, which a ton of people have stitched to their own versions of in real life, by the way. Somebody even did a squirt doll, which looks awesome. But I'm digressing. The Pantheon is a commonality between the Ceylondians and the Ura. Both people worship the same 10 gods, or at least they used to. It's heavily implied that as the Ceylondians increased in wealth, power, and technology, they became more atheistic. Rux often makes jokes about the gods' presence, or lack thereof, saying the gods didn't do much to stop the calamity, and other little sidebars. The Ura, however, have stayed theistic and continue to fear the gods, with Sol saying the god of commotion is no children's toy, when presented with the plush Pyth. Aside from that, there's really not much mention of the gods in the game as a whole. All of the gods are fleshed out to a degree. They're all assigned their various symbols and what exactly they're the gods or goddesses of. I think that perhaps the developers didn't want to muddy up the story with too much lore. There's plenty going on in the game as is, and the gods seem mostly like they're a self-contained concept, not influencing things much at all, which is pretty ironic. I mean, these gods are real in this universe, they have the ability to act directly. I guess they choose not to. Visually, a new theme starts to creep in. As we move further and further from the city, minecarts and railroad tracks become more common. The railroads are what allowed Ceylondia to become a superpower in their world. The railroads also, incidentally, ended up being the driving point of tensions between the Ura and the Sails. As the railroads spread out, and the city with it, the Sails increasingly encroached on the Ura's territory until it reached a breaking point. I'll talk about that more once we reach the level Point Lamagna, which is where a lot of that information is found. All you need to know for right now is that we're going to be seeing a lot of minecarts and railroads, and this is the reason why. This level is one of the first I can think of which features them to this degree, since we seem to be on the mine tracks quite often around here. So, I confess myself a little bit lost here. There are too many paths that are open, and with this level being so linear, I'm not sure if the one I'm taking is going to mean that I lose out on goodies or not. But, okay, I guess that one was a dead end. I think that there was just an opportunity to get some health up there. One of the main design principles, as far as I can tell, about the Peckers is to try to make them a real pain to hit. My equipment is a little unoptimized for this level. By the time I clobber them with the hammer, they've already hit me. The bow, on the other hand, is too precise. The shotgun would be much better suited for this level. Later on, you get some really nice options for taking out the Peckers if they're giving you a lot of trouble. And I'll be honest, I probably have more difficulty with them than any other enemy in the game. Here, some new Peckers get introduced. These ones shoot their feathers at you like they're skeletons from Castlevania, and their feathers are bones. You can deflect the feathers, or just block them all and counterattack, like that. You'll notice by this point in the level, the singing has gotten clearer and clearer. I think that as we got closer and closer to the end, there was obviously some sort of filter being placed, which is cool, really nice touch. By filter, I mean they placed something over the track so that it sounded a little bit duller and a little further away. But here we are. We have found the singer herself. We also just picked up a cool little memento called the Hidebound Journal, which sets in motion a lot of very big plot points. But for now, let's watch a cutscene.